Well, today is, of course, a huge day in politics, a Super Tuesday showdown in which Mitt Romney could land a knockout punch to his rival, Rick Santorum. For more, I am joined by Senator Tom Coburn, a Republican from Oklahoma, who has just within the last few days given his official backing to the governor, to Mitt Romney. Senator, thank you so much for being in the loop this morning.
Glad to be with you.
Now, Senator, I'm looking at the polls, right, in each of these states. And in Oklahoma, it looks as if Santorum is going to sweep Oklahoma. So why are you backing Romney?
Well, I think the most critical thing our country needs today is leadership. What I have found in his life outside of politics, which was a short period for him, that in everything that he's done, he's demonstrated that quality far in excess of all the rest of the candidates. And I know all the rest of the candidates very, very well. And my assessment is what we're lacking is leadership, and he brings to table that quality, which I think our country needs in terms of somebody to pull us together. This is America's team we should be fighting for, not a Republican team or a Democrat team. And our problems are so big, right? We don't have time for us to have a politics of division. We have to come together and compromise.
But Senator, on Mitt Romney, though, and I understand what you're saying about the qualities, what qualities exactly do you see? Because he's been struggling in the polls against his rivals, and some people, his critics, have come out and said, that he has a problem connecting with voters. What exactly are the qualities you see what are the leadership qualities you see in him?
Well, I think he's demonstrated in his life that he can tackle hard problems, make a great assessment of them, and provide the leadership to bring people together to solve them. If you look at the Olympics, it was an absolute mess, and he cleaned it up. It wasn't easy, and yet we had a very successful outcome from that. If you look at his business career, he has taken the companies that were in dire straits and downsized them and made them successful, and made a lot of money doing that. What I see in him is somebody talking about the issues that are in front of the country, rather than the sniping back and forth on the issues within the Republican primary. And I'm sure that's cost him some because he's done that.
Right.
The reason I came forward with the name, nobody I've ever endorsed has ever won anything, so you shouldn't count on me as an endorsement for being a positive. But the fact is thousands of Oklahomans were asking me what I thought. And Rick Santorum's a wonderful man, but you cannot justify his positions on earmarks. You can't justify the position of anybody voting for the bridge to nowhere and then defending it. When you take one for the team, it ought to be taken one for America's team, not the Republican Party. And so I want whoever ends up being president, I want them to lead the whole country. And I want them to see it in a bigger picture for us, because our future, very much with the financial difficulties that we're going to be facing, and they're going to be monstrous. I mean, we underplay how big the problems are in front of us. What we need is decisive, principled, character-driven leadership, and I think he brings that to the table.
Senator, should Rick Santorum leave if he loses Ohio tonight? Should he leave the race? Should he make room?
No, look, I think that's for each individual to decide. I don't think we should speculate on it. I think this primary season has been tremendously healthy. All the political prognosticators saying it's been bad. I think this is healthy for our country to have vigorous debates, vigorous primaries, and to me, I don't worry about the outcome. I trust the American people more than most politicians. I think if we end up with one candidate against President Obama, I think the issues will be clearly defined, and I don't think much of what's gone on in the primary is going to have much of an effect on that.
But Senator, you think it's been healthy for the Republican Party to have been focused, the candidates to have been focused on each other for this long, that they have not spent even one single dollar since the end of January targeting their biggest rival, which is President Obama?
Well, I don't think that's true. I think if you listen to Mitt Romney everywhere he goes, he talks about national issues rather than talk about the other opponents. And that's the other quality I find that I like. He talks about what we can do rather than what somebody else has done. Again, I think the political prognosticators are wrong. I think the American people are smart. I think when it becomes a two-person race for the president of this country, we're going to see the issues really defined and decided. And I think the outcome can be very positive for those that have a constitutional and conservative bent in this country.
Senator Coburn, let me just put you on the spot for a moment. If Mitt Romney does in fact win Super Tuesday and essentially the numbers go for him to be the nominee, do you want somebody like a governor from New Jersey, Chris Christie, to run on his ticket as his VP?
Oh, I wouldn't presume to know. I'm not very smart politically. It's obvious. You've got me on the show, and I can't answer your question. I don't really know that answer. What I know America's starving for is principled leadership.
But would that be a dream ticket for you?
I think it doesn't matter to me who he. What I want him to do is to put somebody that is a principled leader, that won't mince words, that will talk about what our real problems are and what the possible solutions are, instead of dancing around them and blaming somebody else for them. The fact is we're all in this big boat together, and we need somebody to stand up and define the problems, talk about the difficulties in terms of solving them, but if we all work together, the solutions will be much more simple and less painful than if we wait to act. And so I wouldn't have any problem with a Chris Christie or anybody else. The fact is we need principled leadership, and that's what I'm looking for. If he picks somebody that does not demonstrate those characteristics, I'll be highly disappointed.
Okay. All right, Senator. Well, hopefully he does. Senator, thank you so much. I appreciate always talking with you. Senator Tom Coburn from Oklahoma, still ahead. Remember when Warren Buffett took me for a ride in his Cadillac? Remember that? Well, now one analyst says that Berkshire Hathaway stock